It doesn't stop with this lady. The Title IV-D Child Support Enforcement Officer that jumped up in my feed, or that came across my feed, lying about 50-50 and how easy it was. I have to just post one more video just to show what a gaslighter she is and how she just exemplifies what modern women are like and what these child support demons are like. And I'm going to tell you what everybody can do about this to ruffle some feathers with the Division of Child Support if you got a child support enforcement officer. But look at her last self-flattering, God complex having megalomaniac comment. So here I am with my first video reacting to her lie about 50-50. Look what she says. Your clout chasing from rage baiting me is so weird. So I'm been doing this since 2001. I'm clout chasing this child. Looks like she's in her 20s. You chase after me on every platform and think I'm ashamed of my body. If I didn't want the world to see my body, I wouldn't have posted it, boo. First of all, whatever body shaming she's accusing me of, I was making an example about short people, tall people, fat people, and stuff like that. And how people don't walk in their shoes, don't empathize with them. That's why I said this lady's probably racist, because she has a bigotry against men. She says, I don't care what you say, you're lying. I don't see bigotry against men, so you guys aren't experiencing bigotry. That's what white racists say to black folks. I don't see racism, so it doesn't exist. Instead of listening to somebody's story, walk in their shoes and what they've experienced and stuff like that. And then somebody made a comment about her being obese on my page, and I said, she said she lost a bunch of weight, good for her. And I was actually going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I said on one page that she thinks she's doing God's work. She probably in her mind thinks I'm going after these deadbeats, because we're all brainwashed to think that. But this is the problem. This lady says that I'm clout chasing her. Again, I've been doing this since 2001. I don't need anybody. I've been interviewed by Pearl from Pearly Things, who has 2 million followers on YouTube. I've had some other people do interviews and things with me, and then some other people I turned down. And so I've had an NBA player say he wanted to get me on his podcast, and then that fell through for what one reason or another. And I didn't go begging him, hey, remember you're gonna put me on your podcast. He didn't think about it, or he got caught up with something, or he couldn't find me because of my I get deleted every once in a while because I don't talk politically correct. But this lady is saying that I'm clout chasing. Her video jumped into my feed, and there's a whole bunch of guys who are saying you're full of crap. It's not easy to get 50-50. How dare you say that we're lying and how easy it is? And she's shitting on good fathers. And she's dismissing how women alienate children. And one of her recent videos, it says something like, my kids were kidnapped. That's still not an excuse to not pay child support. She has the vicious fascist entire government on her side, and she's passive aggressively talking to people like slaves while she's stealing their money, threatening to take their license, their livelihood, and torturing and tormenting them. Okay? Then she says, I want to clout chase. I got 9,000 followers on YouTube. I think she's got or subscribers. I think she's got 1,000. She's got more on TikTok or Instagram, I think. But my point was my point. Here's the world on the other side of fathers' rights. What they think about men and their plight. And they laugh and dismiss it. All you gotta do is show up in court and you get 50-50. What are you talking about, discrimination? The ratio of custody of mothers to fathers is 90-10. If 10 jobs were open at Microsoft for the same position, and 100 people applied, and 50 were women and 50 were men, and 9 out of 10 jobs went to men, they would be screaming discrimination left and right. They would scream discrimination left and right if it was 7 out of 10. This is a 90-10 ratio. And they're sitting there saying, there's no discrimination. They're lying. Women are delusional, mentally ill liars. And then, because I pointed, she's never answered what I said about my experience and seeing, I've seen 25,000 men in 24 years of doing this. 25,000 men. I can count 9 men that I recall didn't want to be in their kids' lives. Every other one wanted. Now, some of them wanted every other weekend because they worked 70 hours a week and they were getting nothing, and all they wanted to do is work their way up to something. I had one guy who was a cancer patient, and all he wanted to do was do every other weekend, and the mom was cruel and only gave him 4 hours a week or something like that. That guy walked away with every other weekend after I prepped him for a deposition because he was answering the questions so well. Her attorney was chewing her out and told her to settle. See, even though I say deposition is a strong tool to use, a weapon, you could still use your answers to their deposition as a weapon too. But this lady, let me get to what you guys should do. Every single one of you has a child support officer. Go watch some of her videos and watch how she gives legal advice and talks to people like slaves. And you should send an email to your child support officer. Ask if they have an email address, or just child support enforcement offices or child support offices. Their addresses or P.O. box addresses and phone numbers and fax numbers are usually online somewhere in your area. And you could say, hey, this lady is showing my child support officer is treating me like a slave and giving me legal advice just like this lady. This lady is putting it on display. Now that it's on display, I'd like you to discipline and deal with my child support officer. If a bunch of you guys do that, then this lady's going to catch hell from the child support division of child support agencies out there. They might come after her and sue her to take that stuff down or hide it. You know, I'm sure it's so tacky that she's doing actual phone calls and posting them and showing what these monsters are like. Because you go and tell somebody how your child support officer acted, what they said to you, and nobody believes you. No judge believes you. Nobody else believes you. You file a complaint, they don't believe you because it's all off the record and it's hearsay. This lady's showing it. You guys should use this as evidence if you have a child support officer harassing you and say, I complain about my child support officer harassing me. They're doing exactly what this lady did. And she's out there saying, this is how we treat people and deal with people. Now, as far as her saying, I'll clout chasing and rage baiting. I don't even know what that means, rage baiting. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I answered her lies and countered her in a debate, and she freaked out like any typical modern radical feminist, Jezebel, narcissistic, demon-possessed, psychotic weirdo. At first I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, like, this is what they do, this is how they treat people, because they're on the side and they have the fascist gut. They think that they're collecting, but this lady's, she won't answer or counter what I said. She won't defend why she said it's easy to get 50-50, because she has no answers. So then what is her answer? Your typical modern female, oh, you're clout chasing me. What? I'm clout chasing somebody who, first of all, you know, I threw the racist thing out there because I said she probably is a racist because her mentality of discrimination against men would probably carry over because as a white person, she's never really experienced what it's like to be a black person in America, so she probably has some racist views. I said probably. I didn't say 100% knowledge. But what was her defense? I have a black friend. And not just a black friend, a black boyfriend. That's how racists defend that they're not racist. I have a black friend. I have a black baby mama. Thomas Jefferson had a black girlfriend, his slave. All kinds of mixed babies made on the plantation of slave owners raping the people that they hate just because you dabbled in it and got. I know countless black men, like I said before, who got a white baby's mom, and she does not want her kids to get encultured in the black heritage of their family, the black side of their family, to be entrenched in black culture and experience that side of their family. I actually did that for my daughter. Like I made sure my daughter was around people of color and women of color and women of color who were influential. I did that more than my baby's mom did. But in any case, her little go-to, and you could tell she's a little dingy. She's airheaded. She just follows what everybody tells her to do. This child support enforcement officer, and then if I have the audacity to say you're full of crap, then she gets triggered, and then I'm clout chasing again. I never heard of the chick. She just came up in my feed and I saw all the guys saying, how could you do this and say this? And so I did a video to expose her. And then she came on my page saying, I'm going to sue you for defamation. And I filed a bar complaint against you. And then I reacted to all that. And now I'm clout chasing. So she instigated a bunch of gaslighting bullcrap and I'm clout chasing.